Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani. Welcome to StudyIQ. In this PIB lesson, these lessons are coming in the evening. In the morning, the Hindu paper analysis videos, they are coming, and both are carrying very important MCQs. This PIB session these days is totally prelims oriented, and you see the way I am telling you about the details, that this is much more important. UPSC asked this question in this way, and this detail is important in this angle. So the same thing that you need to follow here. Because all things are important, but some things are much more specific, much more important, and UPSC has this habit to ask some specific questions, some specific details in much more focused way. So that following would be important here, and I'm telling you all these things out of my experience, so these things may help you a lot in the prelims examination. So please do not miss any of the lesson, please do not miss any of the questions, and please spread them, and please share them with your friends. 14th of May it is, and let's start the lesson. These are the numbers there you can call, and you can ask for these pen drive courses, and this is the website address where chat section is available. All these courses are available at 60% off. Important courses created by experts, and they're going to help you a lot. Criminal offences can also be classified as compoundable and non-compoundable offences. What are compoundable offences? If we talk about the degree, compoundable offences, they are for a lesser degree of punishment, or maybe lesser harsh in a way, because this is not about the non-bailable offences or any kind of double punishment or something like that. It is not compounded in not in that way. It's actually where the complainant enters into a compromise and agrees to have the charges dropped against the accused. Recently, the Triple Talaq Bill, in that particular bill, these provisions were added, and now it has made a compoundable offense by the government. So this was the issue mainly, and if they think that they can do some kind of agreement, or they can enter into some kind of compromise, then they can drop these charges against each other, or the complainant can drop these charges against the accused. So D is the answer here, and that's to remember. Next, state banks, and a very likely question for the prelims of this year. State Bank Repeal and Amendment Bill 2017. This bill was passed in 2018, and it seeks to repeal the two acts: State Bank of India Subsidiary Banks Act 1959 and State Bank of Hyderabad Act 1956. Both these are amended. You see, there used to be a lot of subsidiary banks for SBI: State Bank of Mysore, State Bank of Travancore, Hyderabad, Bikaner and Jaipur. So all these are now merged under it, and SBI will not act an agent of RBI for these subsidiary banks. Okay, so it is saying about will not act. Okay, this used to be the provision, as the line says, but the present situation is it will not act now, because these banks, they are merged now. So second would be wrong here, and first is correct. So only one is the correct answer here, and you can read here. This was introduced in Lok Sabha by Minister of Finance Arun Jaitley on July 21, 2017, and it was passed in 18. And these two important acts, they are amended now. Okay. This is consequent to the Union Cabinet granting its approval in February 17, which allowed the SBI to acquire these subsidiaries. So this all happened after that. This bill came after that, and the most important act for SBI Act 1955. After that, it was established as the State Bank of India. So this bill seeks to amend the State Bank of India Act 1955 writing also, because the subsidiary issue was mentioned there, and SBI would act an agent of RBI for these banks, that was mentioned. So both these things are changed. So this text is extremely important. Please revise that. Next, a very important question, the question of the day. Rape of women and minor children is an offense under the CRPC? Not. It is an offense under IPC 1860. So this is wrong. But this is correct regarding the POCSO. For the minor children, there are provisions under the POCSO Act 2012. So this is correct. But as a statement as a whole, this is wrong. On April 21, 2018, the government promulgated the Criminal Law Ordinance 2018, as they brought it. Now, definition of rape is not gender neutral. That's correct. It was not gender neutral, and now it stays being without gender neutral. So there are different punishments and different verdicts for boys and for girls. If the girl is attacked, if the girl is abused, then there are harsher punishments. But you see, the times are changing, and boys are also under a lot of threat. So there are some protests regarding that, but that why the laws are not gender neutral. Rape is rape, whether it's boy or it's a girl. But there are differences in India, because some hypocrisy should be maintained here. So this is correct, and first is wrong, so only 2 is the correct answer here. You see, we will go one line by line, because every line has questions. Bill amends the IPC 1860 to increase the minimum punishment for rape of women from 7 years to 10 years. For women, it is for the adults. Rape and gang rape of girls below the age of 12 years, the most important provisions for this particular group, carry minimum imprisonment of 20 years. Remember that minimum is now 20. It used to be 10, now it is 20. And maximum would go up to death. That death provision was not there earlier, but now it is there. Rape of girls below the age of 16 years means 12 to 16 years, punishable with imprisonment of 20 years or life imprisonment as at max. So there is a difference, means the category of below 12 girls, that is much more sensitive here. And this bill, we are talking about Criminal Law Amendment Bill 2018, that was mentioning all these things. So this bill amends the IPC 1860 to increase the punishment for rape of girls. However, punishment for rape of boys has remained unchanged. So these changes we have seen: 7 to 10 for adults and 10 to 20 for the minors, and all these are changed now. But for the boys it remains unchanged. 7 years, that is minimum, and maximum there are different provisions. So for the minor boys and girls there are differences. And bill imposes death penalty for the rape of girls below the age of 12 years. That is a new addition here. And there are differing views on death penalty for rape. You see, this argument is a dilemma that is going on, that there should be a capital punishment or not. Is it going to stop these attacks or not, or is it going to bring some kind of fear into these rapists or not? But not much we have seen as a consequence here. The death penalty has been given to some, but this impact we do not see, because the rapes are consistently happening in India. So this is some kind of a psychological distortion of the culprits here, and some psychological analysis is needed here, because things are not stopping and there is no fear that can be caused by these punishments. So that's a big issue here. Rape of women and minor children is an offense under IPC 1860, as the question was asking, and the protection of POCSO Act 2012, these provisions are there. And out of 39,000 cases of rape, they were against minor girls. 1/5 of these cases, 21% of the cases, they were against minor girls below the age of 16 years. So that's scary, means they are not leaving small girls. Over the last year, several states have introduced or passed bills to allow death penalty for rape of girls below the age of 12 years. Means many states, they are also bringing these provisions. And a criminal law ordinance bill that came in April 21. This ordinance came in April 21, and you see the key feature here. They are saying that whether, if the case is dealing with both these issues like POCSO and IPC, then the bigger punishment wherever is available, that would be applicable. If it is higher punishment in the IPC, then that would be applicable, or if it is higher in POCSO Act, then that would be applicable on the culprit. And here you can see the changes. It used to be minimum 10 years in IPC 1860. Now it is 20 years for the rape of below 12 years girls. Gang rape of the below 12 year girls, minimum is 20, used to be 20 years. Now minimum life imprisonment and maximum death in both the cases. So this category is much more highlighted here. Below 16-year rape, it used to be minimum 10 years, now 20 years. Just like the below 12 group. And maximum would go up to life imprisonment here. And for the gang rape also, you see the bigger punishment, minimum 20 years used to be there, now it is life imprisonment. So for all these categories, for the girls and the women, these things are changed. For the adult, means more than 18 or more than 16, you can say here minimum 7 years it used to be, now it is minimum 10 years. So that's the thing, these data you must remember, these are extremely important. And you see the investigation that would run under the CRPC provisions, that would end within 2 months. Within 2 months that would end, and the anticipatory bail would not be given below 16 years of age of the cases, and the sentence of rape cases where there is an appeal against the sentence for the rape cases, that would be solved within 6 months. So within 6 months the case would be finalized, and anticipatory bail would not be given for the cases below 16 years of age of girls, and the investigation would end within 2 months in all the rape cases. These are the new provisions here. And the gender-based differences are there. You can read these issues here, and you can see there are discrimination for the boys. If they are below 12 years, 10 years is the minimum imprisonment here, and for the girls it is 20 years. 12 to 16 it is 7 years, 16 to 18 it is 7 years, and these are not changed. There are no changes in this new amendment bill, and here they are changed for the girls. And this ever-going debate of the capital punishment, that you can read these points here, and you can write them into mains examination, and in the prelims also they can be asked directly, because these are the important writings of this particular bill. Tamil Elam, you see, Elam used to be the Tamil name of Sri Lanka, and that was the ancient name. So Tamil Elam group was there in Sri Lanka, and this Litte group was established in the northern Sri Lankan part. So they wanted independent state for Tamils. So it was not in southern India, it was in northern Sri Lanka. So this is wrong. Second, Liberation Tiger of Tamil Elam LTT was designated as a terrorist group by 32 countries including India. That's correct. Third, recently the ban is removed. No, the ban is extended actually under the UAPA Act, Unlawful Atrocities and Prevention Act. So that is extended for the Litte group. So this is wrong here, and only 2 is the correct answer here. You can see in the greener part, they were demanding for these Tamil populations, and this Litte group was active, and it took a lot of responsibilities for many assassinations, including Rajiv Gandhi and Ranasinghe Pramadasa in 1993. So these were carried out by this particular group, and 32 countries including India, they had banned this organization, and you see huge datas were there, a lot of informations were there on the front pages in 2008-2009 newspapers, and the Hindu was the front pages were filled up with this information. And you see Prabhakaran, the Vellupillai Prabhakaran, who established Litte in May 1976. He was killed in 2009, and a lot of ups and downs they went by, and you see more than 18,000 people, they lost lives in this civil war that lasted for 26 years, 26 long years, and it started in 83 and ended in 2009. So long this torture was, and that's why Sri Lanka used to be a very disturbed place, and that's why this Eastern attacks, they are causing many issues now, socially and demographically, because Sri Lanka has gone through many negative phases. So that's a sensitive phase now. And you see this issue is appearing in the PIB, that they have extended this particular ban on Litte under the UAP Act 1967. And regarding this act also, they may ask you question this year, because I have told you many questions regarding this issue, and I have explained to you in previous lectures of mine in February and March. Next, DRDO Abhyas. It's a high-speed expendable aerial target. It's a target. It's not a missile, it's not a rocket, it's actually a target for these missiles, and that would go into air like missiles, and that would be targeted by these missiles and all. So that was tested on the Chandipur coast, and aeronautical development establishment AD of DRDO that has developed it, and for the Indian Armed Forces. That is correct. Second is wrong. As I told you, it's a target, it's not a missile. So only one is the correct answer here, and you can see in the picture, and this was handed over here. And the flight test was tracked by various radars and electro-optical systems, and remember, clouds were not there, so radars worked very fine. A joke. The Personal Law Amendment Bill 2018 seeks to remove leprosy as a ground for divorce or separation. Leprosy as a ground, because you see, it used to be a very dreaded disease. Code, they called it in Hindi, and the person was totally thrown out of villages and all, and it was treated as an outcast, and total humiliation was there for that life, because that was untreatable disease. Mycobacterium leprae is the bacteria, but now when in end of 70s and starting 80s, when the MDT came, multi-drug therapy came for the this leprosy disease, and it became a curable disease. You see the extremities, these fingers, the toes and all, they all gets rotten because the nerves are damaged, so you do not feel pain, heat or something like that, so they start getting damaged. So this is why this person looks very horrible, but now it is a curable disease and MDT is the therapy there, and they need it to amend all these marriage acts regarding the Hindu population and Muslim population, all these marriage acts and all, because everywhere there were provisions regarding leprosy. It used to be a divorce ground, so it is no more a ground. In the personal law amendment bill, these provisions were there, Minister of Law and Justice, and it is no more a ground for divorce or separation. So this is all for today. We will meet again tomorrow, and the PDF you will get here. Thanks a lot. Keep watching.